We've all been there. You get off a call with a potential client and you're excited. You spend time putting together a proposal and then you get ghosted. Or they hire you and a few weeks in, you realize the project keeps changing and expanding. Or there are 5 different people involved, all with their own opinions on what the video should be. A lot of creatives treat discovery calls like auditions, where the goal is to impress the client so they'll hire you. For me, a discovery call isn't just about getting the job. It's also about paying attention to the potential red flags that could turn into bigger issues later on. In my experience, most of the real problems come from things that weren't clarified early before the production ever started. If you don't have a structured way to evaluate a project before you send a proposal, it's really easy to end up dealing with scope creep, burnout, and working on a project that just keeps dragging on. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact guide I use on every discovery call, from the key questions I ask to what to listen for in the answers that will help you spot red flags early so they don't turn into bigger problems during production. And if you stay until the end, I'll tell you where you can get this guide to use on your own calls. Before we get into the specific questions, this isn't something you read word for word during a call. I always have this out before the call starts, and it's there to guide the conversation so I don't miss anything important when I go in to plan the project or write the proposal. These questions help make sure we cover a few key areas during the call: budget expectations, what the project actually needs, and the timeline. One of the first questions I ask are, what led you to decide that producing a video made sense at this point? And what problem do you hope the video will help you solve? What I'm listening for here is whether there's a clear reason behind the project or if this is more of a reaction. If the answers sound like everyone else is doing a video, or our boss just wants a video, or we really don't know yet, that's something I mentally flag. When there's no clear reason as to why we are making this video, projects tend to shift direction mid-production and approvals are slow to get, and the video ends up being evaluated against expectations that were never clearly defined or communicated to you in the first place. Another question I ask is whether they've worked with a video professional or an agency before. If they say yes, I follow up by asking what that experience was like. This tells me a lot about their expectations and communication style. If they focus only on what went wrong without taking any responsibility, that's usually a sign that there may be challenges ahead. If they've never worked with a video professional or a team before, that tells me I need to spend more time explaining how the process works and setting expectations around revisions and timelines. Next, I ask, what kind of video are you thinking about? I'm not expecting a fully formed concept here. What I'm looking for is clarity. Answers like something that will go viral, or like an Apple or Nike commercial, or we'll know it when we see it, usually tells me the idea isn't fully hashed out yet. That doesn't mean we can't move forward with the project. It just means there's more to clarify before things get underway. When this isn't addressed up front, it often shows up later as endless revisions or feedback that feels vague or inconsistent with the goal of the video. I also ask, where do you plan to use the video once it's finished? This question helps surface expectations early. Answers like everywhere or we'll figure it out later often means expectations haven't been fully thought through yet. It also helps prevent future requests for additional versions that weren't discussed up front. Next question is this more of a one-time project or something you expect to do on an ongoing basis? What I'm listening for here is how they're thinking about video long-term. When someone hints at ongoing needs but is only budgeting or planning for a one-off project, that's usually a sign expectations haven't been fully thought through yet. In this part, I ask 2 questions here. When is the deadline? And is that deadline tied to anything specific, or is it fairly flexible? This helps separate real deadlines from artificial ones. When timelines are vague, but the pressure feels high, that often points to internal disorganization that could carry into production. Instead of only asking when they want the video, I also ask what's driving the deadline. Is it a product launch or an event or a campaign? Because understanding the reason behind the date or time frame helps determine how fixed it really is and what needs to happen in order to meet it. And not just a would be nice to have the video done by this time kind of deadline. Then there's the budget question. This is one that people are hesitant to ask, but it usually saves you from a lot of back and forth later on. I simply ask whether a budget has been set or not. I'm not looking for a perfect range here. Even a ballpark number is helpful. If there's no range at all, that's not a total deal breaker, but it does tell me that more clarification and discussions will be needed before we move forward with the production. It's much better to catch that on the call than after putting together a proposal. I didn't go over every question in the guide because I wanted to highlight the ones that usually tell you the most during a discovery call. Having a system like this means you're going into calls prepared and not reacting on the fly or trying to remember all of the questions you need to ask. I've turned this guide into a free PDF that you can download so you don't have to create your own from scratch. You can print it and use it as is or adapt it to use during your calls. It has all the questions you should ask with space for you to jot down notes pertaining to each question. It also includes prompts on explaining your process to potential clients and what you can do if you decide that working on a potential project is not a good fit for you. If you use Notion, I also have a version of this set up as a Notion template. If you have never heard of Notion, it's a free app you can use to organize and manage projects. It's the one I use to manage all of my projects. Links to both the PDF and Notion versions are in the description. And I want to hear from you. What's one question you always ask your potential clients on a discovery call to set you up for success and avoid problems later on? Let me know in the comments. If this was helpful, like the video and subscribe for more content on video production workflows to help you work smarter as a creative. And I'll see you in the next one.